5 fastest muscle cars you don't want to miss of the 1970s. Welcome back, muscle car maniacs. Today, we're taking a high-octane trip back to the 1970s to showcase 5 of the fastest, wildest, and most unforgettable muscle cars from the golden era of American horsepower. These beasts ruled the roads, terrified insurance companies, and won hearts at the drag strip. Buckle up, because these legends are built for speed and born to thrill. 1. 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle SS 454 LS6. This was the ultimate street machine of the 1970s. Under the hood was a massive 454 cubic inch LS6 V8 engine. It cranked out 450 horsepower straight from the factory. Torque? A mind-blowing 500 pound-feet. It could do the quarter mile in just over 13 seconds. And that was without any modifications. Its signature cowl induction hood fed the beast with cold air. Visually, it was pure intimidation. Big, bold, and brutal. Rally stripes and SS badging added to the street cred. It came with either a 4-speed manual or a TH400 automatic. Chevy meant business with this one. Even today, it's one of the most iconic muscle cars ever made. Inside, it was simple but purposeful. No nonsense, just speed. The exhaust note? Thunder on wheels. It was built for straight-line speed and did not disappoint. At over 4,000 pounds, it was no featherweight. Yet it still outran almost everything in its class. Insurance companies hated it. Drivers loved it. It was expensive at the time, but now it's a 6-figure collector's dream. It was the peak of GM's muscle car madness. Only available in 1970, making it a true one-year wonder. Drag racers praised its raw torque and durability. The LS6 engine became legendary in its own right. If you saw one in your rearview mirror, you knew to move over. The Chevelle SS454 LS6 was Detroit muscle at full throttle. 2. 1971 Plymouth Hemi Cuda. The Hemi Cuda was the meanest fish in the sea. It came with the legendary 426 cubic inch Hemi V8. Output? 425 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque. This wasn't just a car, it was a weapon. It could hit 60 miles per hour in about 5.5 seconds. That was supercar fast in 1971. The exterior screamed aggression. Shaker hood, bold graphics, and quad headlights. Its wide stance made it look planted and powerful. Inside, you got high-back bucket seats and a rally dash. It had either a 4-speed manual or a 3-speed torque flight auto. Plymouth built just 119 Hemi Cudas that year. That makes it one of the rarest and most desirable muscle cars ever. Emissions rules were tightening, but this one slipped through. It was a final hurrah for Chrysler's big block dominance. The dual exhaust had a deep, nasty growl. It was known to beat almost anything on the street or strip. The handling was surprisingly capable for such a brute. Collectors today drool over original models. Restored versions fetch over $1 million at auctions. It became a symbol of muscle car rebellion. The 71 Hemi Cuda was raw, loud, and unapologetic. Its racing roots were always visible. From its shaker hood to its drag racing legacy, it oozed attitude. No other Cuda compares to the HEMI version. It was peak Plymouth, unfiltered and unforgettable. 3. 1970 Buick GSX Stage 1. Buick's GSX Stage 1 was the gentleman's street brawler. It had a 455 cubic inch V8 that surprised everyone, officially rated at 360 horsepower, but real output was closer to 420. Torque? A tire-melting 510 pound-feet. more than any muscle car of the era. It could do 0 to 60 in just 5.5 seconds. Quarter-mile times hovered around 13.4 seconds. This was no sleepy luxury cruiser. It was a beast in disguise. It came in two bold colors, Saturn yellow and Apollo white. With its rear wing and racing stripes, it stood out like no other Buick. Inside, it had full gauges, a tachometer, and plush comfort. It was both brutal and refined. The GSX was based on the Skylark, but heavily upgraded. The suspension was tuned for drag racing and street dominance. It came with a heavy-duty TH400 auto, or 4-speed manual. This car embarrassed Corvettes and Mustangs at stoplights. Buick engineers underrated the numbers to keep insurance costs lower. But those in the know feared the GSX. It could roast tires in every gear. Only 678 GSX Stage 1s were made in 1970. That makes it rare and extremely valuable. Its torque delivery was instant and addictive. The GSX proved Buick could build a true street monster. It wasn't flashy. It was ferocious. Today, it's one of the best-kept secrets in muscle car history, and it's easily one of the fastest of the 1970s. 4. 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner Superbird, 426 HEMI. Built to win on NASCAR tracks and rule the streets. The Superbird was outrageous in every way. Its long nose and massive rear wing were made for aerodynamics. The 426 Hemi engine delivered 425 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque. Top speed? Over 150 miles per hour, and it handled high-speed runs like a champ. It could do the quarter mile in the low 13s. Built for homologation, Plymouth made just under 2,000 units. The Hemi version was the rarest, with only 135 made. It was designed with the help of engineers and racers alike. Its nose cone reduced drag, and the rear wing added downforce. The Superbird wasn't just fast, it was a legend on the oval. Richard Petty drove one in NASCAR, making it even more iconic. On the street, it turned heads and dropped jaws. It had a unique beep-beep horn, like the cartoon Roadrunner. Despite its outlandish looks, it was a legitimate high-performance car. The Hemi made it brutally quick from stoplight to stoplight, and it was surprisingly stable at high speeds. The Superbird was built for one purpose: winning. Today, it's one of the most collectible muscle cars ever. The Hemi version is a $1 million machine. It wasn't just about horsepower, it was about history. With its race-proven pedigree, it's a muscle car Hall of Famer. No car from the 70s looked like it, or performed like it. It was outrageous, rare, and brutally fast. The Superbird flew, on the track and in our hearts. 5. 1970 Ford Mustang Boss 429. The Boss 429 wasn't just a Mustang, it was a monster. Ford built it to homologate the 429 cubic inch V8 for NASCAR. Only 1,358 were produced, all in 1970. The engine was hand-built and stuffed into modified Mustang bodies. Officially rated at 375 horsepower, but it easily made over 500 with light tuning. Torque came in at around 450 pound-feet. It did 0 to 60 in about 5.3 seconds, blazing fast for the time. Quarter-mile times were in the low 13s. It was heavy, but the power more than made up for it. Its bulging hood and aggressive stance made it unmistakable. The engine bay had to be modified just to fit the massive 429 block. Inside, it was typical Mustang, simple and sporty. It came only with a 4-speed manual, a drag racer's dream. The suspension and chassis were strengthened to handle the power. Collectors revere it for its rarity and engineering. It was never meant to be a mass-market car. It was Ford's racing tool, thinly disguised as a road car. Today, original Boss 429s command huge prices. The engine itself became legendary in racing circles. It wasn't the most nimble Mustang, but it was the fastest. Ford pulled no punches with this beast. Its sound was deep, thunderous, and unforgettable. It was the definition of overbuilt. The Boss 429 was, and still is, the king of Ford muscle. There you have it, 5 of the fastest muscle cars from the 1970s, each one a fire-breathing icon in its own right. These machines weren't just fast, they were unforgettable. Let us know in the comments which one you'd love to drive or own. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more raw American horsepower, right here on Vintage Wheels Chronicles.